gonna stop. To the top, to the top. Ain't never gonna stop. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be legendary. Fly high, or will I fall? Legends made when faith is strong. No time to bleed. I'm conquering. Roll on my love, I'm pushing the pain, I'm up for the prize. Some people wanna turn and run, but the strong rise under the gun. Top to the top, ain't never gonna stop. To the top, to the top, ain't never gonna stop. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be legendary. Every day I fight to be wings are made to fly, made to fly. Fears are born to die, born to die. Pushing through the pain, through the pain. Pushing through, breaking through, whatever it takes, what I gotta do. Giving my all, giving all that I got. Never will stop till I get to the top. To the top, ain't never gonna stop. To the top, to the top, ain't never gonna stop. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be legendary. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be
smell what The Rock is cooking. The Rock says, The Rock says. The Rock says, The Rock. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. You got your rules in your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and loves to hate. I have a voice that has the knowledge and the power to your fate.
Hello and welcome to the final WWE Wrestling Talk Show of 2019 with Lisa Rock Jones and a slightly under the weather
Sean Randy Smith, and I am getting better, and the pay-per-view we're referring to is the last WWE pay-per-view of 2019 of tables, ladders, and chairs, which came at you from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Brock Lesnar, where are you?
Yes, this was the final pay-per-view of the year and slightly underwhelming. We'll get to that momentarily.
Yes, we have in total
8 matches which took place on the card, one of which on the pre-show, which we will start with a rematch from the past week's Raw of Humberto Carrero taking on Andrade.
and this match was around 12 minutes in length.
With just like on Raw, the winner of the match being Humberto Carrero.
Yes.
And yet again, they seem to be teasing some dissension between Andrade and Selena Vega, so that duo may not be allowed much longer.
Now to see we'll have to see in the final weeks of 2019. See where that goes.
Also on the pre-show, on the panel, there was a slight confrontation between Booker T and The Revival.
Oh yes, there was.
In which The Revival wanted to take on Booker T and Stevie Ray. However, The Revival had something else to worry about, as they would open up the main card in a ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
Yes.
In which they would take on the New Day's Big E and Kofi Kingston.
And obviously still, no Xavier Woods, because he is still out injured.
This was around 19 minutes long. And what do we
With TLC spots galore.
And what do we really say about a ladder match?
Oh, yes. All sorts. I love them.
Dash Wilder was hit with a big ending off of a ladder.
Ow.
And as Scott Austin attempted to climb the ladder, he was intercepted by Kofi Kingston.
He was actually intercepted.
Who fell onto a ladder that was wedged between the ring ropes.
Yep, classic spot to wedge them.
Allowing Kofi Kingston to unhook the titles, allowing the New Day to retain the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
And close out 2019 as Tag Team Champions.
Unless something happens on the 27th of or even tomorrow night's edition of SmackDown, which is unlikely.
but we'll have to find out. But this next match was kind of a match that was kind of made with a loose bit of story to it.
There's a loose bit of story to it, but this is a mid-card match with two talented people going at it in Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy.
And the match was around 13 minutes in length.
They would go at it back and forth as we see in matches.
But in the end, the winner...
After Black falling onto the ring steps, which caused him to have a heavy nosebleed.
Yes, in other words, a broken nose.
Aleister Black would hit Black Mass onto Buddy Murphy and win the match. Excuse you.
Thank you.
Yes, Aleister Black with the Black Mass. Following this, we would have an open challenge match, not for the United States Championship, but for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
The Viking Raiders issued an open challenge, and the team that answered the call were the best tag team in the... Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. In Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Otherwise known as VOC. Not a lot to say here.
The match was around 8 minutes in length.
And ended in a double count-out.
Yes, you heard us right. Double count-out.
Which allows for Viking Raiders to retain the tag team titles as the titles, unless stipulated otherwise, cannot change hands on a count-out.
Or a disqualification or a count-out.
Yes. However, after the match, VOC attempted to hit the Magic Killer on Eric through a table, only for either to intercept and perform a powerbomb on Carl Anderson through a table.
Ouch.
Next, we go to TLC action.
Yes, we do. As King Corbin took on Roman Reigns in a tables, ladders and chairs match.
Yes, we'll get to some of this in a while. But
yes,
because after some action, Roman Reigns would attempt to go on a spear for Baron Corbin, only to be intercepted yet again by Dolph Ziggler and a super kick.
Super kick city.
Then Roman Reigns would go after Ziggler and the security guards with a kendo stick.
Yep.
Then, if they weren't beaten up enough from earlier on, the Revival decided to come running down.
And hit a shatter machine on the outside of the ring.
Yes, this would then essentially turn into a 4-on-1 TLC match.
First of all, with King Corbin allowing Ziggler to hit the zigzag, then followed by a shatter machine, followed by an end of days.
Onto a steel chair and the pinfall.
I think the only word that my colleague could describe that match is...
Why? For one thing, this rivalry is just so boring.
It is. Even Wrestling Observer Dave Meltzer said exactly the same thing that you just said.
But next we go to a little place called Bizarre World.
Yes, Bray Wyatt not in his themed attire, but as himself.
As Funhouse Bray Wyatt would take on The Miz in a non-title match, despite the fact that Bray Wyatt is the Universal Champion.
Or the Blue Universal Championship, as we call it.
So, this match went almost 7 minutes.
Yes, but...
I was mostly dominated by, at least in the early parts, by The Miz.
But then, out of nowhere, wait, that's my shtick.
Not quite yet. Bray Wyatt would Well, The Miz would get hit with a Sister Abigail outside the ring,
Ow.
but would make it back on
Before the
into.
referee's 10 count.
However, he would get hit with another Sister Abigail and get down for a 3 count. However, after
Taking a very bizarre turn.
the match, an image of the Fiend would appear on the Titron,
Yes.
almost commanding Funhouse Wyatt to do something. So he goes outside the ring, grabs a mallet, Bludgeon Brothers,
Fair. Considering one of them is now released from the company.
and then he would attempt to attack The Miz with it, only to be intercepted yet again. They might as well have called this pay-per-view Interception.
Because Funhouse Bray was attacked by someone who was wearing hooded clothes with a running knee.
Yes, and running knee tends to mean Daniel Bryan,
Daniel Bryan.
who would appear with his beard shaved and hair shaved, looking very similar to his 2011-12 image.
Shade.
And then just as he was...
And also there was chants of yes, yes, yes from the crowd.
And just as he was about to strike Wyatt with a mallet/hammer, the lights would go out and Wyatt would disappear.
That's an Undertaker shtick.
Next we go to a storyline which belongs in a soap opera.
Yep, it was Rusev against Bobby Lashley, who had Lana at ringside in a tables match.
The week before on Raw, they would have divorce papers signed before
In
this
Divorce
match.
Court with Joe the King Lawler.
But I'm not going to spend too much time on this.
Because, like my colleague said, this storyline almost reminds us of a soap opera.
Rusev was about to put Lashley through a table until Lana decided to get involved and jump onto Rusev's back, which allowed Lashley to put Rusev through the table for a win.
Yeah. Let's just move on.
However, it gets even better,
Oh, no.
because this past Monday on Raw,
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Bobby Lashley decided to propose to Lana, and they will now be getting married on the December 30th edition of Monday Night Raw. Because wrestling weddings always go down well.
Yes, most of them go down. Most of them go down in fights or something worse, but only a couple of them have actually been successful.
So now we go to the main event, which was slightly underwhelming, but
Yes, as the Women's Tag Team Championships were put on the line in the second ever Women's TLC Tag Team match.
it was the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane defending against
Raw Women's Champion.
frenemies or enemies, whatever you want to call them, Raw
Yes.
Women's Champion Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair.
The Queen.
Now, this had, how do we say this, spots galore.
Yes, with it being 26 minutes in length. But however, there was a key point in the match where Kairi Sane picked up a nasty head injury.
Yes, that happened about halfway through the match. But however, during the match, Jelly Roller noted on commentary that there was a backstage brawl going on backstage. We'll come back to that in a moment.
Oh, yes, we will.
Then the Kabuki Warriors would tie Becky Lynch to a ladder, momentarily keeping her out of the match.
making it a 2-on-1 handicap match.
But after Lynch managed to get free,
And make it back to 2-on-2.
Charlotte would put Kairi Sane through a table.
Yeah.
Asuka would put Flair through a table.
And vice versa.
However, when Becky Lynch was attempting to climb the ladder to get the belts and once again become Becky 2 belts,
Yeah.
Asuka would pull the rope that was still tied to the ladder
Yeah.
to knock Becky off, allowing Asuka to climb and retrieve the titles, allowing the Kabuki Warriors to retain the women's tag team titles, which I'm kind of glad of because they are technically the only real established team.
But however, we mentioned about that brawl.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still to the outside.
Yes,
of the,
immediately following the match, the backstage brawl spilled into the arena area of the crowd and ended with Roman Reigns spearing King Corbin from an elevated position onto a bunch of other wrestlers, and that's how TLC went off the air.
With the other members that were brawling were, I believe, the Revival and the OC
It was
and the Viking Raiders.
Yeah, it was a bit of people from both brands.
So we'll run through the match cards and we'll run through the results one more time.
On the pre-show, Humberto Carrillo defeated Andrade.
The New Day retained their SmackDown Tag Team titles in a ladder match by defeating the Revival.
Aleister Black defeated Buddy Murphy.
The OC and the Viking Raiders for the Raw Tag Team titles ended in a double countout.
King Corbin, with a little bit of help from Dolph Ziggler and the Revival, defeated Roman Reigns in a TLC match.
Bray Wyatt, Funhouse Bray Wyatt, defeated The Miz.
Bobby Lashley, with a little bit of help from Lana, defeated Rusev in a tables match.
And the Kabuki Warriors in a tables, ladders and chairs tag team match for the women's tag team titles retained their titles by beating the Man, Charlotte Flair, and the Queen, while the Man, Becky Lynch, and the Queen, Charlotte Flair.
So those are the results of the final pay-per-view of the year. And since this is the final show of the year, and there was a little bit of news happening last night on NXT,
Yes.
we shall bring you that. And that news is that after dominating NXT for 1 year and 2 months-ish, Shayna Baszler is no longer the NXT Women's Champion.
Because the championship is now with Rhea Ripley.
This marking that Rhea Ripley is the first woman to have held the NXT UK Women's Championship and the NXT Women's Championship. Also on NXT, Adam Cole would defend against Finn Balor. However, that would go less well for Balor due to a little person called Johnny Gargano.
A.K.A. Johnny Wrestling.
So that does it for 2019 in WWE, more or less.
Yes, there will be other programs before the end of the year.
We shall be back with you early, like first or second week of January, where we shall do a special overview of the entire year of 2019 and slowly begin to build the road to WrestleMania.
But until then, he's been
Reese Rock Jones, and he's been
a very under the weather Sean Randy Smith.
with Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and we shall see you in the new year.
See you in 2020.